1-800-348-1007.
Oh, boy. Gonna put a little hitch in your giddy up. Get ready for the Bill Squire Friday Get Down, which is on the way. It's how we start the weekend around these parts. And then Guardians pregame, as soon as we roll out, that'll get going around 6:40 or so. 7:07 tonight, live from Toronto, Ontario. Guardians, Blue Jays, first of three, 7:07 tonight. And then they come back home. They'll host the Mariners beginning of the week. And then the Blue Jays will come to Cleveland. And that'll be next week. And, of course, you'll hear all of it on MMS. You can also listen on the iHeartRadio app. Alan, when Dolly Parton goes, the nation will need a day off to mourn. Yeah, people were hitting me up with their celebrities that it's going to hit them hard. Alan, I'm going to be so upset when William Daniels passes away. You know who William Daniels is, yeah?
Jack
he has
Daniels?
multi-generational reach. Who?
Jack Daniels?
Is that?
Well, no.
Oh.
William and Jack would be two different
Thought
guys.
maybe he went by Jack. Oh.
When I was a kid, he was the voice of Kit from Knight Rider, but a lot of people know him as
he's
Mr.
still
Feeney
alive.
from Boy
Wow.
Meets... He's almost 100.
Yeah.
Mr. Feeney from Boy Meets World. He was on a show called St. Elsewhere that my parents watched. Hospital drama when I was a kid. It had Howie Mandel in it and early Denzel Washington show. Willie Nelson is going to be another one.
That's a big one, yeah.
Yep. When we get that news, that's going to be tough. Is it Alan Cox Show or The Alan Cox Show?
Oh.
Well, it is the.
It's
you know,
the. It's on
the.
the. It's on the graphic.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, the Talking Heads have an album called The Name of the Band is Talking Heads. It's not The Talking Heads, but anyway. Blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm not a big, I didn't grow up in a house that revered anyone. We grew up Catholic, of course, and as I've mentioned before, most of the kids I grew up with were either Irish or Italian. And if you grew up Irish Catholic, you had photos of Kennedy in your house. And if you grew up Italian Catholic, you had pictures of the Pope and Frank Sinatra. But there were crucifixes. Is it crucifixes? What's the plural of crucifix? You had crucifixes in every room of your house. But my mom was she was big on Kennedy because, of course, she was in high school when he was killed. And if you were Catholic back then, that was, for the boomers, the where were you when? And for my mom, it was John F. Kennedy. And I never really, you know, it was before my time, and I never really cared one way or the other about the lingering side effects of whatever the conspiracy theories were and all that. But it is interesting when they get into the salacious stuff about JFK. That, to me, is always more interesting than anything else, you know, because so much of it is, it's known now that the guy was, you know, he was banging Marilyn Monroe, and so was his brother, and, you know, but that's why I could never figure out where they would talk about how John F. Kennedy had these debilitating back pains. I'm like, well, then how was he laying the pipe to Marilyn Manson? What was her name? Marilyn Monroe. If his back was so bad. Anyway, there is a columnist named Maureen Callahan, who's a pretty good writer, and she has just dropped a new JFK book. And it's about the secrets of Kennedy and Jackie's marriage. It's called Ask Not. And they get into a lot of different interesting things. Maybe students of JFK and Camelot know all this stuff. But like I said, I don't do deep dives on this stuff. But my ears kind of perk up when I see it. The truth about their sex life. From underaged mistresses to sexually transmitted diseases and orgies in the White House. You know, these are things that the modern presidency, if you heard about them, even with all the polarization in this country, you'd be back on your heels if you heard this kind of stuff. But back then,
Just for
It was
President
so-
Biden to get a boner would be really incredible.
I don't know
Testosterone
I don't know
was
what's doing down there. I doubt either of those guys can get it up, but who knows? But back when Kennedy was president, that's when people think the media now is like biased one way or the other. But back then, they were really kind of running cover for some of these people. They weren't trying to peel back the layers in every situation. So some of the anecdotes from this book following the assassination, take them with a grain of salt, I guess. Following the assassination, Jackie spent her final moments alone with JFK's corpse. Of course, he was killed in Dallas. This was at Parkland Memorial Hospital. And they mentioned that she kissed his entire body.
Ooh.
His mouth, his chest,
Bottom of his feet.
his wiener,
Taint.
his leg, taint, and bottom of the feet.
Teat his ass.
Yeah. Yep. She
His
huffed his whole the whole bit.
Mm-hmm. Weenus.
Yeah.
Got all over that weenus.
When JFK learned that she had suffered a third trimester stillbirth, he was in the south of France and refused to return home. He told his brother Bobby on the phone, "What's done is done. The baby is lost." Now, if you're getting it on with starlets in the south of France, what are you going to do? He's not coming home for
Come
that.
home and console your wife.
Yeah, that doesn't seem to be the guy he was. Doesn't seem to be the guy he was. That's why it was so dangerous for people to revere him the way that they did. That's why you shouldn't revere
Anyone but Paul.
any mortal.
Anyone but Paul.
Anyone but Paul. Mm-hmm.
Well, here's a little story.
Jackie and JFK had sex the night before his death. They were hoping to conceive after their son had died.
Back shots before headshots.
Well, here's what they said. They go, on the morning of his assassination, she got her period. Both bleeding that day.
Mm-hmm.
JFK almost certainly gave Jackie all kinds of STDs, which likely caused her fertility issues. Boy, these are the lengths to which women will stay with powerful men, by the way. This wasn't really a time where I think a first lady could have divorced the president, but still.
Yeah, of course. Like, there was no way they would do
She's
that
not
back
No.
then. Yeah.
Kennedy's family agreed to pay her $1 million if she stayed in the marriage, and millions more if Jack ever gave her another STD. All right, listen, the ones you got already, we're
Grandfathered in.
grandfathered in, time served, all right? But if he gives you one more, that's $1 million herp right there, baby. Now, you're not going to know if it's an ingrown hair or if you got the herp. But if it's the latter, you know what that means. Yeah. You're going to be
At that point, you're kind of rooting for it,
Yeah.
right?
Right, yeah.
Right.
you're going to be
all right.
you're going to be begging for
Let's
something to
clap.
drip. Yep.
Crossing your fingers, it's not AIDS,
Mhm.
you know?
The pre-AIDS.
It was
Was
pre-AIDS.
AIDS out yet?
No.
No.
No, AIDS,
Hadn't
AIDS
been out
hadn't dropped yet.
It wasn't out yet?
Nope.
He's getting some syphilis.
Yeah.
They probably had herpes, right?
Herpes, all that kind
Yeah.
of stuff.
Gonorrhea.
You'd think that the president
Chlamydia, all
might
those
wrap it
antibiotic
up.
Ones.
Yeah. He
No,
might-
you're the leader of the free world. You're not going to wear a condom.
He's free balling in the free world.
Mhm.
Like that Neil Young song. JFK sent Jackie to a mental
Plus,
hospital.
he's Catholic.
Yeah, right? Honey, I can't do any of that. I'm Catholic.
Yeah, I can't be wearing that.
The old pull and pray. She was getting electroshock therapy. Jackie
what
knew
did
about.
she do that made him cheat? That's what I want to know.
That's the
All
one
those
question
What did
they
she
don't
say, right?
ask in this book. Jackie knew about his infamous pool parties, which were, when was this guy like doing
Doing-
things? Yeah. Everybody complains now when presidents play golf. And of course, Trump spent most of his presidency playing golf. He had no interest in being president or doing the having the responsibility associated with it. But that aside, most presidents play golf. And maybe Kennedy did too. But, complaining about golf seems like nothing compared to White House pool parties, It's like it's him and his brothers. Right? It's Ted and Bobby and him and you don't need a bathing suit. You can get in there and it's my amazing John F. Kennedy.
It's really good.
Big 60s bushes.
Because a few years ago, there was that book from that White House intern. You remember that? This woman named Mimi Beardsley came out with a book. We talked about it, I'm sure. She came out with a book that said that she lost her virginity to JFK when she was 19. Like, she literally started in the White House as an intern, and 4 days later, she banged JFK. Like, he got her drunk or something.
Partying.
JFK impregnated a 15-year-old babysitter when he was a senator. Yeah, that's wild.
That's a lot of stuff.
Despite his, quote, high libido, JFK was terrible in bed. Jackie herself said, he just goes too fast and falls asleep.
Oh, good for him.
Well, he got his, right? I mean, that's probably how he was with her.
It's probably who he was with everybody.
He's like,
when you're
honey,
JFK, you don't need to be good in bed.
No, but also,
no matter what.
By the time he climbed into the bed in the Lincoln bedroom with Jackie, he'd been banging all day long.
So he wouldn't be quick then.
You don't know.
If he was
based on your logic, I don't think he had to be good in bed. He probably was terrible.
No, he
with
didn't have
everybody.
to. Yeah, he didn't have to. But it's all us civilians out here that got to be pulling out all our tricks. We got to have every club in the bag. Come on, man. Well, anyway, this is the kind of salacious detail that if you're looking for a beach read,
seems like
the new Kennedy book.
If he was that bad in the bedroom, he probably could have used a second shooter.
Jackie, why don't you trim down that grassy knoll and maybe I'll get in there.
I'll just watch from over here in the cuck chair.
I call her vagina the depository. That probably won't come back to haunt me. Ask Not, the Kennedys, and the Women They Destroyed is the name of the book. The Women They Destroyed. Well, and this is the thing, too. The Kennedy assassination, there were all the theories about, and they're probably true, theories about the mob rubbed him out or whatever, because he had run afoul of whatever Sam Giancana wanted to do. But also, if you're poking that many women, you're poking like guys' wives and girlfriends. It's like the mob wouldn't have to have been involved at all because there would have been. This was back when the president was in a convertible, for Christ's sake. Like, you can't believe there was ever a time where that was a thing. That the president was in a convertible. Hey, how are ya, Dallas? Man. So, anyway. Mike from Parma says, talk about the real Red Scare. Happy Father's Day to Alan and Bill, this person says. Any plans?
Actually going to my parents on Sunday. Gonna have some dinner with them.
Dinner with your mom and dad?
Yeah.
Must be nice.
Well,
must be nice.
You want to come?
No, thank you. No, I was trying to give Gwen an answer. She's like, what do you want to do for Father's Day? I go, we don't need to do anything. Let's just hang out because my older kids aren't coming. Mm-hmm. And I was like, let's just go to the movies or something. Like a movie that my daughter will want to watch, There's a bunch of those.
What's
Inside Out 2.
Inside Out 2.
We're going to go to
today.
If. We're going to go to If. We haven't seen Inside Out 1, so.
Watch it. You got time.
Yeah, maybe.
You got tonight.
Al, when the doctor asked JFK where his pain was, he said, my back and to the left. My back and to the left. I read that FDR was constantly doing cocaine in the White House. Back then it was still medicinal. Yeah, well.
Wasn't he in a wheelchair?
He was, but I think he was somewhat.
Doesn't mean he can't party.
I know, not that people on cocaine can't do, or people in wheelchairs can't do cocaine, but
I don't know that he was confined to a wheelchair though. But again, when I was talking about how the media would kind of cover for the president, and not the salacious stuff, but like they used to shoot FDR from like the waist up or something, or they would prop him up for speeches. You know, they would give speeches in the back of trains and stuff. So like most of the electorate had no idea that he was in a wheelchair because they didn't let people know. They didn't take pictures of him. Like they weren't trying to get him on something, you know.
now our president falls off bikes.
Yeah. Well, he's 81. What do you want, man? Bill, do you want to?
Yeah, let's do it.
Everybody, have a drink on me. Everybody have a drink on me. Hey, everybody drink on me. Brother Leslie, how?
All right, you know what it is. The Bill Squire Friday Get Down in honor of the late, great Murray Saul here at WMMS is how we start the weekend. Take it away, William.
It's Friday! You got to get down on Friday. Get out there and mix it up with some ladies, whether they got razor bumps or herpes or syphilis, whatever it is. Treat your weekend like your JFK and be bad at bed. Quick shooter, quick shooter, quick shooter.
Christ.
It's Friday.
Oh, that is easily the most irresponsible Friday Get Down we've ever had. Hey, who cares if they have bumps? Get out. There's a little pitch change in the voice at the beginning there,
Yeah,
too.
I don't know what happened on
Oh,
that.
that was good.
That just like...
His vocal cords started seizing up, Mary. That's the lengths to which he'll go to give the people what they want.
I don't know what people.
The
but
Friday
Lot
Get
of people.
Down.
Lot of
Lot of
people love
people,
it.
I
Mary.
don't think
Hey.
there's that many people.
That's a lot.
Mary was like heckling the Get Down.
It took forever. Why did it take so long to get there?
Because
Because I'm not like JFK.
Yeah.
You're annoying.
I
It's
take
a
my time.
build-up. It's a build-up.
A little foreplay.
It's creating
Ew, I
tension
think
and
so.
suspense.
Ugh.
Wow. For somebody in showbiz, you sure don't know how to create tension and suspense.
Sure don't.